Hello everyone, Bonnie here. Today is Wednesday, August the 14th, 2024, and I'm coming to you from my studio in Carsville, Virginia. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who is fortunate enough to combine my love of teaching with my love of beautiful stamps, ink, and paper. If you are watching live, please make sure you leave me a comment so that I know you're here. And if you are watching from afar, please leave me some information as to where you're watching from. Tonight I am going to show you 4 different cards, and if you like these cards, you can get the card kits for free simply by placing a $35 order before taxes and shipping in my online store. However, you must use host code TJBGBFPJ. Again, you can find my online store at bonniejohnson.stampinup.net, and you must use the host code that you see on the screen, TJBGBFPJ. Again, I'm going to show you 4 different cards, and if you like them, place that $35 order before shipping and taxes, and I'll send you everything that you need to make these cards. You'll receive the card bases, you'll receive all the layers, the die cut labels, the ribbon, envelopes, and detailed instructions with photos. Again, you must use that host code. Hi Margaret, thanks for joining me tonight. Hopefully you'll see a little bit of what you'll be making when you come to class on Saturday. So without further ado, actually I spent some time today playing with my pre-order products that came earlier this week, and my friend Deb is headed up or down this way tomorrow, and she's going to spend a few days here in the country, and she and I are going to play around with the pre-order products that we received, creating cards for our upcoming fall winter retreats. So I was able to play with a few things today, but I haven't had a whole lot of time yet, but we're really excited to be able to get together and do that. So the first card we're going to make tonight uses the Adventurous Sky stamp set. And this stamp set has 13 stamps, great for a man in your life or a male friend. Hi Sandy, thanks for joining me. In addition to the stamp set, I have chosen just to use one small snippet of the Designer Series paper called Take to the Sky. So let me just briefly show you what the Take to the Sky Designer Series paper looks like. So that's side A, and I called the back side side B. Beautiful colors. A sheet full of clouds, and here's the back. Another sheet of looks like airplane sketches, and another nice colored print. Here we have some mossy meadow background, and this almost looks like to me a Tetris video game background. And then you also receive 2 sheets of pre-printed card layers and 6 tags that would be easy to use for various gifts. So I'm going to be using Memento Black ink with this card, and the reason being I'm going to be using my blends, and those are alcohol blends. Anytime you use alcohol blends, you need to use Memento ink so that it doesn't bleed. So thanks, Deb. I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. So this is the stamp. This is the card that I'm going to show you how to make. And I want to show you the difference. This airplane right here was colored with the Real Red blend. Now, I really struggled with that. I don't know if maybe I'd had too much caffeine that day or what the deal was, but I was having trouble getting my blend to stay in the lines. So I thought, well, let me try colored pencils. So here is the Real Red colored pencil. Now look at the difference in the shades of those reds. This has a lot of orange in it. So I knew once I had done that that's not what I wanted. Hi, Sharon. So here you have the same airplane that I used a cherry cobbler colored pencil to do. And the cherry cobbler pencil is very similar to the Real Red alcohol blend. So tonight I'm just going to show you how to do it using the Real Red blend. So in your card kit, you're going to receive a square of Night of Navy, a rectangle from the Adventurous Sky or Take to the Sky Designer Series paper. You're going to receive a layer that I have embossed with the exposed brick embossing folder, and this will already be done for you. So if you don't have that folder, you don't need to worry about that, because I'm going to take care of that for you. And I also have a layer of Night of Navy, and you're also going to receive your card base. So those of you that know me know that the first thing I like to do is to start off with my stamping. So, and go figure, I left a piece over here that I needed to get. So let me just grab it real quickly. Here you go. So this square will come in your kit as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp with my black ink. And let me see if I can pull this down a little bit. And I always like to use the lines on my grid paper to make sure everything is nice and straight. And I'm going to eyeball this best I can. There you go. You're the best, plain and simple. What a great sentiment for a card that has an airplane on it. Next, I'm going to ink up my airplane. And again, I need to straighten my square. And I'm going to angle this a little bit. There you go. Perfect. And I'm going to give that just a minute or two to dry. I will go ahead and clean up. So while that's drying, I'm just going to set it aside, and I'm going to go ahead and glue down my embossed layer onto my Night of Navy layer. And I always tell people that when you have an embossed layer like this, you want to put a little extra glue on the back of it. Doesn't take much, but. And then I'm going to adhere this, and the goal is to have the same amount of Night of Navy showing all the way around. So then I always like to turn it over and just give it a very gentle massage. Okay. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and glue my Designer Series paper onto the center of my Night of Navy square. And I'm just going to put some glue here in the center of that Designer Series paper on the back. And the good thing about this Tombow glue is that you have a little bit of time to zhuzh things if they're not exactly right. Okay, I think that's a little, zhuzh that up a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my Real Red marker. And as you know, our Stampin' Blends have two points. We have a brush point and a bullet point. And I tell the girls that come to class that if they're going to use the brush point, to barely touch the tip to the paper, because it doesn't take much to ruin the bristles. And people are really good about doing that. And I always like to have on hand my color lifter in case I make a mistake, which chances are at this time of night, I probably will. So I'm curious to find out what you prefer to color with. Blends, watercolor pencils, markers, ink. I really enjoy the two-step stamps. So you stamp like the outside image and then you can fill in the center with a different stamp to add the color to it. Deb, what is your favorite thing to use to add color to your stamps? Because I know you love to color. You've always loved to color. Almost done. Thank you for your patience. Almost done, so. Okay. I think that's going to be good. And it's always a good idea when you're using your blends to make sure you hear that click. That way you know that the lid is on securely. So now I'm going to put dimensionals behind this Night of Navy layer. And those of you who know me know that I prefer the large dimensionals. However, I will use whatever I can find. Yes, and Deborah, you're really good with using those blends, so I need to take a lesson from you. I sure do. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of those. I like to use the colored pencils, the watercolor pencils, with the blend pen because it just really smooths out those lines. So I'm going to put this in the center. And again, it's a little bit tricky for me from this angle to see that it's in the center. And then again, I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of this layer. Deborah, have you used this set yet? I'm not sure if you even have it, but I've not seen anything that you've done using this one. Does anybody watching have this set? What about you, Sandy? I know you have a lot of stamp sets in your stash. And I'm going to attempt to place this one in the middle. Okay. And then I'm simply going to put this on front of my card base, and this will get glued down. It's hard to believe that we're already into the middle of August. I'm surprised, Sandy, that you don't have this one. And there you go. There is the very first card that I'm going to share with you tonight. And, you know, this could make a great birthday, can make a great Father's Day. The choices are endless. So that was the very first one. And the next one I'm going to share with you uses the Sketched Butterflies stamp set. And there is a total of 10 stamp sets or stamps in here. And for this particular card, I'm simply going to use this one right here, along with the coordinating dies. I'm also going to be using a sentiment from Layering Leaves. And this set was designed by Rachel Tessman. And I'll be using the, I think it's Thank You So Much. Now, if you don't have these stamp sets, you don't need to worry about that, because you can use really any stamp set that you would like. I'm also going to be using Spotlight on Nature, 2 of the circles in this package. So this is the card that I'm going to show you how to make. And I love the simplicity of this one and the pop of color. I even tried to make this larger circle out of a color, and I wasn't crazy about that. So some people in class this week have chosen to use the pinks for their butterfly. Some people have chosen to use 2 different blues. Some people have chosen 2 different yellows. In fact, I think Sharon Malin, you used the yellows yesterday, didn't you? Someone did orange. So they're all pretty. So in your card kit, you're going to get your base. You're going to get a piece of basic white. And this is where you will stamp your butterfly. Now, if you don't have a butterfly, you can stamp any other image on there that you want to and cut that out. You will also receive these 2 circles from the Spotlight on Nature die set. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my butterfly. And again, I'm going to use the Memento ink because I'm using my blends. And those are alcohol blends. So we need to use the Memento ink, otherwise it will bleed. And I'm just going to put this in the center. I'm going to push down well. Don't need to put that up yet. Let me go ahead and clean off my stamp. I have classes tomorrow, so tonight after I'm through here, I will be getting all of this organized back together. So I'm going to stamp Thank You So Much towards the bottom of my card base. And again, I'm using my grid paper to line that up. I use my grid paper to line my paper up to make sure that my stamps are straight, to measure. So it has a lot of really good uses. So I'm going to put this, and again, I'm just going to eyeball it right there, okay? Thank you so much. I find that I use Rachel Tessman's stamp set a lot. A lot. Now let me just scoot this aside. And I have chosen one other thing that you will also receive in your kit is a 4-inch piece of ribbon. So I have decided to go ahead and color my butterfly just like the one that I showed you earlier. And rather than blend the light and dark Summer Splash, I simply decided just to use the light. And I'm going to use the bullet tip this time. And just going to go around and around. We've not had nearly as many butterflies this summer as we've had in the past, so I'm just not really sure what the cause of that is. I mean, we have lots of flowers, but just not a lot of butterflies. Now, if you don't have blends at home, you can use your colored pencils, you can use your ink to add color to this, or maybe you want just to leave it black and white. So here we have the dark lemon lime twist. And I just really liked the contrast of the colors here. You know, if you're a person that doesn't send a lot of cards, a bunch of cards, you know, like 6 in a stack tied up with a pretty ribbon, makes a really, really nice gift for someone. Makes a great hostess gift or a thank you gift. So now I'm going to use the die that came from that bundle. I'm going to get this cut out, and now if you have, and I'm using my mini cut and emboss machine tonight, if you have the mini cut and emboss machine, it's important that you stagger your plates. So if you look very carefully, you're going to see a little ridge there. I like to put my clear plate up to that little ridge. Hi Annie, thanks for joining. And then I'll place this down here. Let's see if I can move this in the camera so you can see. There you go. And I like to use my Post-it tape. Post-it notes work just as well. I just happen to have this on hand, so it was convenient for me. Okay. And that will hold that in place. And then I'm going to stagger that one. This out of the way. My plates. That's in the trash. And there's the butterfly. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to burnish my card base with my bone folder. Then my large circle is going to get glued directly down onto that layer. And again, I'm just using the liquid glue. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay. Here you go. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my ribbon in the center, and I will just use a little bit of glue because that is not going to show. And I can trim this in just a little bit. I always like to have my ends looking a little bit nicer, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough excess. Now, The small circle is going to go on with dimensionals. Let me make sure I put them on the ugly side. Yep. I love how quickly these cards come together and how simple this one is. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in the center. There you go. And then I'll also add dimensionals to the back of my butterfly. And I'll probably just add, I'll do 3. Annie, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. I'm excited that you'll get to see Deb tomorrow night too. And then I'm just going to center this in the middle. Okay. And I'll take my paper snips. Oh, come on. See, I cut, this one needs to be a little bit shorter. That's going to drive me crazy. And I forgot to mention, I have these iridescent faceted gems that coordinate very nicely with that ribbon. So I think I'm just going to put one up here. Always like to do things in odd numbers. And let's do one like over here. I don't want it to look too placey. Whoops. Okay, that works. It stuck to my finger. Okay, let's do another one. Actually, I left the sticky part on the card when I was picking it up, so it's not going to stick. And then I think I'll just put this one up here. And some people in class yesterday even added Wink of Stella to the butterfly, and it really was pretty. So there you have the second of the 4 cards that you can get in your kit. So again, easy peasy. I'm curious, do you like this color combination or do you like the pink combination better? Let me know in the comments, please. Please let me know in those comments. Okay, so the next card we're going to do is going to be this one, and I just think this is stunning because in my younger years I did a lot of cross stitch and crewel work, so this definitely took me back to my younger days when my children were very little. So for this particular card I am going to use the Crafting With You stamp set, and let me just zoom out here a little bit so you can get all of that in there. Okay. I am also going to use, and the only thing I used from this stamp set is this sentiment right here. So if you don't have this stamp set, then you can use a stamp set that you have at home as long as it fits on the tag that I include in the kit. I also used the Eyelet embossing folder, the Countryside Corners die set, and I used the scissors from the Crafting With You die set as well. So I chose just one sheet of the Countryside Inn paper to focus on here. And what I did was I made sure that this bird was in the center when I cut it out, because that's what you see in the middle of that hoop. So in this kit, you are going to receive, now after I had done this, I decided that it needed something more. So I decided to change the card base from white to the Misty Moonlight. And I really think it made it pop a little bit more. So you're going to receive a card base. You will receive a white layer for the inside. You're going to get your white layer that has been embossed with the eyelet embossing folder. You're going to get a little circle of that fabric or that paper. You're going to get a little hoop. And let me just point out that this is the top of your hoop. And you're also going to get your die cut label for your sentiment, in addition to scissors and twine and a little empty spool. So all of this will come to you in that card kit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment using the Night of Navy ink. And I would have to tend to agree. Life is better when you're crafting, because when I'm crafting, I can't think about anything else that's going on. I can't think about people who are sick or the sad state of affairs that our country sometimes finds itself in. I can't think about my grandchildren. Okay, all right, and I'm just going to put this in the center. There you go. Let me close up my... This one was fun to make, Betsy. Absolutely. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit here, because I think this part, this part is really, really, really important. Let me zoom back out. So what you're going to need to do in order to secure the circle to the hoop, you're going to turn your hoop over so that the back side is facing up, the wrong side. And you want to make sure that the bird is in the center. So I'm going to flip it over like this. And then I'm going to try to pick this up so that, yeah, that's going to look okay. So what we're going to do is, and I'm going to use the little dimensionals for this. So what I want to do is I want to put the dimensional on both the blue and the crumb cake so that it's held in place. That's going to prevent the blue from slipping out. And I don't think we need to be shy about using our little dimensionals here. Okay, and I think maybe I'll put one in the center for good measure. Now remember, if you like these kits and you want to get them for free, you need to order between today and August the 18th. And you must use that host code that lets me know that you are interested in these kits. And I will have those ready to mail out to you by August the 23rd. All right, so this is going to go in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish my card base here. And I will just go ahead and glue that down. And again, I added extra glue to the back of this embossed layer. And I'm going to press down, then I'm going to turn it over, give it a nice little rub. Okay. I'm going to scoot that out of the way for a minute, along with these pieces. And I'm going to show you how to do the scissors. So I was actually going to Blacksburg for the weekend for a women's club conference. And I took my mini cut and emboss machine in the car with me. And I was cutting out the scissors, both in the black cardstock and the metallic silver. So I knew if I did not do that, I probably wouldn't have them done for class this week. So I'm going to try not to get my scissors in that glue. Okay, so I'm just going to move this aside for a minute, give that a chance to dry. And then, let's see if I can, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the handles of my silver pieces, my silver scissors. And I'll just throw that in the trash. And then the same for this piece that does not have the hole in it. Now you want to make sure that you have the right side facing up on these scissors. And I don't know if you can tell or not here, but there is a little indentation right there. That signifies that that is the right side, and that's where it needs to be. So I'm going to put glue along that black blade. And I found that my Pick 2 tool came in handy for this today. It kept me from getting the glue all over my fingers. So this is just what I did. I just put it down here like that. Because if you get glue on this silver, you can't get it off with your adhesive eraser. It just smears it. And again, I'm looking for the top side or the correct side of this one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along that blade. And again, I'm going to pick that up with my Pick 2 tool. Bit of glue here, and you just really have to play around with this piece to get it like you want it to be. I wanted I wanted the blades to be a little bit open. And I'm just going to press that down. And then, if you look, when I punched out my scissors, this little piece right here came out. And that was in, I mean, it was supposed to come out, but I decided I wanted it back in there, so I'm just going to put that back in there. Okay, so now I'm going to give that a second to dry, and then I'm going to take my spool here, and I'm going to wrap this twine around, and I'm just simply wrapping it around. And now I'm going to use a small, thank you, Betsy. I had a little more practice than you did, I think, but yours turned out beautiful as well. I'm going to put a little dimensional right there. Okay. All right. So now, I just want to move these off to the side so that I don't accidentally bump those. So now let's go ahead and put the hoop in place. And I call this a stick and flick method. If you're one of those people who struggles to get the paper backing off of the dimensionals, you might want to consider doing that method. And I had somebody ask me yesterday if I had put this at an angle intentionally, and I said I did. But if you like yours more straight than that, by all means, you put it exactly where you want it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and place this label on my card with dimensionals. If there's one thing that I can't do without, I guess it would be dimensionals, because I just really think it adds so much. Just that little bit of height adds so much. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this in the middle-ish. Middle-ish. Okay, like so. Now I'm going to flip my scissors over very carefully. And I'm going to use a mini dimensional. And I'm going to put it in that largest area. And press it really, really well. And you can angle these on there any way you want, but you really want the dimensional to be on this part right here, on your embossed layer. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to remove the paper back in here. And then I'm going to place that on there. And then I'm just going to kind of snake this through here. And I'm really not worried about that falling out when it gets mailed. And you may find that your thread is a little bit wonky, but I think once it's in the envelope, it's going to lay down flat. So I just thought that this card was really, really sweet. Sorry about that. So this was the third of the 4 cards that you can get for free when you place an order in my online store using that host code. And the last one really was a lot of So this is the last one, and I knew that I wanted to use the bow punch, which is what punched these boughs or greenery out, but I did not have any designer series paper that would work. So I decided that I was going to use the background leaf collection stamp set, and this is one that we received at I'm not sure if it was backstage or on stage when we went, but it's a great use to make your own designer series paper. So I'm going to be using that stamp set. I'm also using 2 of the rectangles from the Everyday Details. And again, you don't need to worry about not having these because those are going to come already punched out for you. I'm going to be using the Granny Apple Green ink. I'm going to be using the Night of Navy ink. And again, from Rachel Tessman's stamp set, the Sending Hugs stamp and the Bow stamp. And here is the background stamp. So let me just show you. So in your kit, you are going to get your card base, a white layer. Now, actually, you have 2 white layers, one for the inside and then one for the outside. You're going to get a Night of Navy layer. You're going to get this, and this is what you will stamp your 2 sets of leaves or 2 boughs on. And you're going to get a lemon lime twist. You'll also get a smaller layer for your sentiment, and you'll get a 16-inch piece of Night of Navy twine. So those of you that know me know that I like to start first of all with my stamping. So I'm going to see if I can't clear some of this clutter. It's probably driving you crazy. It certainly is me. So I'll start with the Night of Navy. Let's go up a little bit. Okay. And this is one of our classic ink pads, so you just need to tap, tap, tap. I tell the girls it's like giving a little peck on the cheek. It's not a French kiss, it's a peck on the cheek, so you just do it very lightly. And then I'm just going to eyeball this, and there you go. So if you don't have this stamp set, you can use any stamp set that you have in your stash. Thanks, Deb. I couldn't remember where that was. Deb says it's on stage, and for sure she would know. Okay, so we got that, and now I'm going to go ahead and stamp my 2 boughs. Now, of course, in class we always decorate our envelopes in some fashion. We either put designer series paper on the flap, or we use a stamp set, or sometimes we will emboss the flap. I'll leave that. So I will go ahead and use my bow punch that coordinates with Rachel Tessman's Layered Leaves stamp set. And I'm going to go ahead and punch both of these out. I'm not sure if you can see this or not. There's one. now I am going to ink up my background stamp. And the best way to do this is to simply pick up your ink pad and dab like so. Now the stamp set is larger than my piece of paper, so there will be some excess. I want to make sure I get it inked up really, really well. And this is such a huge stamp that you're really going to need to apply some pressure. So I'm going to stand up for this. Let's see. So that I can get some good leverage. All right. And there we have it. Now you can see that it's not a solid image, but I like that look. So I am pleased as punch with that. So I will go ahead and glue this onto my white layer. And the next thing we need to do is we need to tie our twine. Let me see. I was using my tweezers today. These are the tweezers that come with the embossing kit, and these work really well for me to help me when I need to tie. So I'm just going to put it there, and it holds it for me. So I have both hands free now to tie a bow. Of course, it's never as easy when you're doing it in front of somebody. And I'm going to make that really tight. And it's still loose enough so that you can move it up and down as need be. Okay. And then I am going to put this layer on with dimensionals. Please leave me a message in the comments that you have shared my video, and your name will go in a drawing to receive one of the 4 cards. Thanks, Sandy. I tell you, my fingers feel like sausages some days, so fat that I can't do anything with them. So it just really seems to help me. I hope that that you find that tip useful. Now I chose not to put this in the center of the card. You can put yours wherever you want. I decided I wanted it to be offset a little bit. There you go. It's not exactly straight. So when you're using dimensionals, it's a good idea just to lightly lay it down until you know that you've got it exactly like you want it to be. Okay, so with my greenery, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the stems down towards the bottom. I don't want all of the leaves to be glued down. I like for them to be loose and airy. this one down just a tad. Okay. Now I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this side, and I'm going to need to double stack the dimensionals on this side to make sure that it's nice and level. And they do stick together, so should not be a problem. So I will just, yep, double stack here. Because this is already on dimensionals, that's why I'm having to do this. And then I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Make sure that I have it opening the correct way. Yep. And then I actually think that I'm going to use one of my opal rounds, the Night of Navy opal round. I think I'm just going to put one right up here. We all love a little bling, and then I'm going to trim these just a tad. Okay. And here we have all 4 cards. So I'm curious to know which one is your favorite. We had the You're the Best, Plain and Simple. We had Life is Better when you're crafting. We had Thank You So Much. And the last one was Sending Hugs. So which one is your absolute favorite? If you liked these cards and you want to receive the kits for free, please remember that you just need to place a $35 order before shipping and taxes in my online store using host code TJBGBFPJ, and you will get the kit. The kit will be mailed to you by August the 23rd. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you have been inspired to take out your stamps, ink, and paper and make something that's going to put a smile on your face and a smile on somebody else's face. So until next